Hello and welcome everyone in another video of this series where we are discussing anything and everything happening in the AI space. And in the last video, we touched a very hot topic, Model Context Protocol. We discussed what is MCP, why is it used, the architecture of MCP, the components, the layers, and a little bit demo of how to connect to any MCP server via your MCP host. If you have missed that, you can click on the link above or in the description. But do remember to come back to this video because today we'll get our hands dirty and create our own MCP server. Sounds nice, but what does it mean to create our own local MCP server? Well, that means you will be connecting AI and your LLMs to your boring backend APIs and databases. And after that, you will be able to chat with your application. You will be able to chat with your database. So you can write anything here, you can ask anything, and your application will reply to you via MCP server. So why wait anymore? Let's get into it. So we are inside VS Code now, and we already have our backend application created. The name of the application is LeadFlow. So a little bit, I'll give a brief about what this application is, and I'll go through the code a little bit. Since this is not a fast API tutorial, I will not go deep and will not waste that much time on this. But this application is for marketing people or delivery managers, client relationship managers, anyone who deals with marketing. And there are two modules in this application. One is leads and one is activities. Leads is a module where you can keep track of your marketing leads like companies or the people or whatever the marketing people do actually. The second one is activities, where you can keep track of activities with respect to your leads. So if you have a lead, let's say ABC company, and you had a call with them, that's a record and that's an activity. If you had a negotiation, if you submit a proposal or any other meeting, that's another activity and that gets created as a record. So let's go through the code a little bit so that you get the gist of how the APIs are structured. We have our main file, which is main.py. We'll be using FastAPI as the backend framework. And we have two routers, which is one is leads and one is activities. We can go to these routers, and in the leads, as you can see, the database that we are using is our SQLite. Very reliable, very small and very quick. This is our database. I already have generated some mock data into it. Again, going back to the activities and leads routers, these are the usual, as you can see, the fast API endpoints, router.get, router.batch, and the functionality is create a lead, create leads in batch, list all the leads, get a single lead, update the status of a lead, delete, and then add an activity with respect to a lead. So a very simple CRUD based application. Another module is activities, the same thing with list activities, where you can list all the activities, and get activity, update activity, delete activity. Nothing special. Ones who have worked on Python or ones who have worked a little bit on the backend know this is how the structure goes. Then we have services, activities routed to the activity services, where we have the business logic, connecting to the database, fetching all the items and returning the items. Get activity service, returning the activity by querying from database, update activity, delete activity. Same with the leads, same services, list leads. I don't think I need to go deeper into this. And let's test the APIs if they're working or not. So if I go to localhost, or let's start the server first of all. So we are already in our application. Let's go to backend, start C, start the server with unicorn, main app, reload, and the server has started. Let's go to Postman, hit the API for the leads, and we have the data. Since there was no filter, we have all this data. Get activities, again listing all the activities. Now, as I said, pretty boring, pretty simple, but what if we integrate AI into it and we can chat with it? So that makes it interesting, right? And that's what we're going to do next. So let's get back to our VS Code. and there is our folder backend src. The first thing that we're going to do is create an MCP server file. So let's do that, which is mcp server.py. You can name it anything. I'm just naming it mcp server.py. Now in this server file, we need two things. One is the tooling or the APIs and services, which we already have and they are running successfully. The second thing that we need is a quick way to generate the server, generate the tooling, generate the resources, and that we will do through a very standard framework, FastMCP. So a little bit about this framework. This is FastMCP, and it's a Pythonic way to build MCP servers, clients, and applications. And what it does is it takes care of all the boilerplate stuff and the boilerplate code to provide tools, resources, prompts, context for your AI to interact with. Otherwise, if we don't use this, we have to go through the lens of creating all the server, all the stdio and http requirements. So why waste time when you have a very quick way of doing it, correct? And you can go through this website. I'll paste the link in the description. This is a documentation, and in this documentation I want to go through three very important things, which is the core components, and in that we have tools. So first of all, let's see how it is. The server is created. You just instantiate the server object and then you just use a run function. That's how easy it is. And then we have the core components, which is tools. So tools are something that expose functions, means your functions that you create as executable capabilities for your MCP client. Means your AI can use these functions as tools and perform the execution or anything that you want to do with your application. Second is the resources, which exposes the data sources and dynamic content generators to your MCP client. What do you mean by resources? Resources represent data or files that an MCP client can read basically. So any file, PDF, Excel, doc file, anything, text file that you want to provide to your AI, you can provide via resource. How the resource are built is again via decorator.@mcp.resource. So just create your function and provide a decorator on the top of it. FastMCP will take care of rest of the things. And then we have prompts. Prompts are something like reusable message templates that help LLMs generate structured, purposeful responses. And these prompts can also be used by AI to ask you something, to prompt you something for more information or confusion, or structure its own responses as you want. Again, a custom AI function. Generate a user message asking for an explanation of topic. As I said, if you want AI to get some more clarification, you can use a prompt. So this is pretty much it. It's very extensive and cannot be covered in one video, obviously, but these three things were the main things that I wanted to go through once, and then we can go back to our code and start building it. So the first thing that we're gonna do here is to install our FastMCP framework. So open your terminal. Inside your virtual environment, just run the command pip install FastMCP. Since I've already installed, it will show me requirement already satisfied. But if you haven't, just run this command to install the framework. Close, and let's import. So from FastMCP, import FastMCP. The second thing that is required, and we have already discussed, is our services. So from services dot activity services, import list activity service, which is a GET request basically. And from our leads module, we have services dot leads service, import list lead service. And since both the services that we have chosen are GET, let's choose one update or post service, which is update lead service. And then you instantiate the class of FastMCP to instantiate the server. The first argument that you're going to provide is the name of the MCP server. So I'll just provide lead flow. The second thing that you optionally can provide is instructions. These are just the instructions for your AI that is interacting. So I'll just write provide marketing data and the respective activities, lead data and the respective activities. So this was all the imports and instantiation. After this, we'll start creating the tools. So first tool that we're going to create is a very simple one, just for introduction. So you write the decorator before the defining your custom function. Your custom function, let's make it greet. That's just a testing tool, you can say. And inside this, the doc string, very important in every AI application. And inside doc string, I'll just say this is just a testing tool, and we'll just return like hello from lead flow. That's it, nothing much, only a string. And then comes our main tool that will be the core of our MCP server. So the first tool that we're going to create is for the leads, which will provide us all the leads, marketing leads that we have. So mcp.tool, and we are gonna name it list leads, and we need all the parameters that the service requires. So for those parameters, I'll just open lead services, and we have list leads. I'll just copy this, paste all of it here, and we can just keep it none, no problem. Again, very important, doc string to provide instruction to your AI agent about what this tool is and what this does. So what this tool does is list all of the marketing leads with respect to the provided filters. This is the description, and we're not gonna put any business logic into it because we already have done that in our services. So only thing that we're gonna do is just return, or maybe just store the result in our list leads service, and then pass everything that we have received, indent it, and just write the names because I think these are same as the arguments provided by the AI. So I'll just delete these, and we have all of these. Now we'll just return the result. See, that's how easy it is to create a tool if you already have declared your business logic in your services. And I forgot to put very important commas so we don't face any errors. I think this is fine. Another tool will be mcp.tool, which will be for def list activities. Again, the same thing. I'll open activity services, and this requires all of these parameters. And provide everything that you have to. Yeah. So again, to summarize, we first imported everything, the services and the FastMCP framework, instantiated the class with the name of the MCP server and instruction. Then we started creating our tools. First one was the test tool. Then we have list leads. For this, we already have a service, which is the lead service. Inside this, we have list leads, and we just use that service. It will return us the result, and will return the same to our MCP client. And then we have list activities. The last one that we have is the post one. So this is to update our lead. So if we'll say update lead, that name will be fine. What does it require is, I'll just close this. Where is update lead? Update lead service. This is the update lead service. Two things are required, which is lead ID and payload. Doc string, update the lead with the given lead ID. I don't know if I'm writing it correctly or not, but I think AI is smart enough to understand this. If not, then we'll change it. Lead ID update the lead boarding to the payload. We'll also provide actually the parameters in this because this is a post one, so we need lead ID, which is an integer. This is a lead ID to update the fields in, and then we have payload dictionary that contains the fields to be updated. Yeah, this much is enough, I think. Again, the same thing. ID and payload and return the result. I think we have declared all the tools. The last thing that we're going to do is run the server. So what we're going to write here is if name equal to, sorry, not like this. If name equal to main. This is a standard Python stuff. This basically means that this should be run directly as a script. So I'll say mcp.run. That's it. That's it, guys. You have created your MCP server, and with this command, the MCP server will run. I'll save it. Now to check if this has any errors, which I don't think so it has, but you can still check. Open your terminal. I'll go to my MCP server file and I'll just run python mcp server.py. Now it won't show you much, but it will just be starting MCP server lead flow with transport stdio. Remember, in the last video we discussed there are two types of transportations in MCP. One is stdio, which is standard input output, that is for your local MCP servers, and one is streamable HTTP, which is for your remote MCP server. So right now we'll do the stdio. We covered the streamable in the previous video. So this is running and this is fine. We'll just close it. Now, how will you integrate this MCP server that you have created with your Claude desktop? Last time what we did is introduce connectors, but this time what we'll do is, since we are getting our hands dirty, we'll do it via JSON config file. So let's open that file, and this is the Claude desktop file, and you'll find it like this. Just close your preferences and start adding your MCP servers. This will be an object, and inside these objects will be all your MCP servers, not just this one. If in future you install any other servers, you can put inside this. So how do you do that is just create the name of the server, which is lead flow, again an object, and the first attribute will be for commands. Actually, I have this pasted, so I'll just copy and paste it from here so that we don't waste time in the commands. What the command is, this command will be run by your MCP host. So I'm running Python from my virtual environment, and what are the arguments for that command is my MCP server file. So basically whatever I did here, python mcp server.py, is what I'm providing here. So this is how you run a local MCP server, how you integrate a local MCP server to your MCP host. And now, since let's just save it, what we'll need to do is restart our Claude desktop. Restart Claude. And whenever you restart your Claude desktop after changing your config, just wait for like 5-10 seconds for the config to take place. And if there is an issue with your Claude desktop not connecting to your MCP server, it will show you on the top right hand side. You can also view the logs, whatever happened. Since I don't see any errors, I think the moment has come that we all have been waiting for, and now we can start chatting with our application via Claude desktop and via MCP server. So what should I ask? Tell me how many leads do I have right now? Yeah. Let's see. Finding tools. So it's trying to find the tools, and it says Claude wants to use list leads from lead flow. I'll say always allow. calling the tools, and it says you currently have 56 leads in the system. What are the leads? What are the critical or high priority leads for me? And there you go. Here's the breakdown of 30 leads total, which is 15 critical and 15 high. And these are all the leads, the status of the country, the industry. Isn't this just amazing? You don't even need a front end for this. You just create your APIs, you have a database, and then all you can do is just this. And this is just a very basic thing that I'm showing you. These are very basic tools that provide you in a formatting like this. You can create your own formatting. It can provide you with charts, the dashboards. It can provide you PDF files, anything that you want. I can ask actually I will extend it a little bit. Do I have anything on Google? Also, if I am pursuing Google, check what can we offer them in their respective industry and services. So I think this will be, actually I want a report. Also, if I'm pursuing Google, check and create a report on what can be offered them in the respective industry and services. Let's see how much can it do for us, because this will be impressive actually. Claude wants to use activities. Yeah, sure. Now it will go to the activities module and check what are we doing with this lead. And I think it found out that we are doing something with Google. Now it is architecting the proposal. So here's what's on the file for Google. Lead status, no activities log yet. This is a fresh lead with 0 touch points recorded, no calls, emails, meetings. And lead details are company. This data is from our database. This is not from internet. And this is showing that we have a lead, but we haven't, touch base with them. Source is LinkedIn, interest area is AI consulting. This is in our database. And now it is creating a report on it. And there it is. Priorities right now, what can we offer them? AI automation track, cloud modernization track, suggested entry point, recommended next step. What else do you want? This is the real use of AI. The demos that you see on YouTube for calendar, email, the repetitive demos, that's just boring. I mean, till how long? Like, it's been 3-4 years. Till how long will you just use it for calendars and, automating your trips or automating your meetings or summarizing your emails? This is what AI should be used for and is being used everywhere right now. Even if I open Postman, you can see there is an agent. You can ask anything. So, and this is how you create it yourself, your server. And at the end, let's just check if we can also update something. So let's pick a lead like Sanders Ltd. This is like a fake name. And the status is negotiation. Let's make it qualified. Change the, what's the name of a status? Status of Sanders Ltd to qualified. Yeah, it's qualified. Let's see if we are also able to update our database with just chatting. So I'll click on allow. Done. Sanders Ltd is now marked as qualified. Moved from negotiation. Let's check also if it's true or not. Let's go to our database and just close the terminal. We have leads, and inside company leads, I'll just put Sanders.ltd. And if I scroll ahead, we have qualified. We can also use post request. We can also update. So I've done this several times, but every time I do this, I'm very impressed of what AI can do, how we can integrate AI. So yeah, as I said, this is just the beginning. You can create as many tools as you want, as big tools as you want, formatting tools, researching tools, integrate more third-party APIs, the charting APIs, anything that you want. And I think this will be it for this video. In the next video, what we're gonna cover is the last part of MCP, that is to deploy our MCP server online for everyone to use, and we'll focus a little bit all on the governance, guardrails, restrictions, because as you can see right now, we don't have any restrictions here. Anyone can see anything, nothing like role-based control. So we'll discuss or touch point on that also. And that's it. Stay tuned and keep learning, keep growing, and bye-bye.